guys, this is Tina. Welcome back to my channel. So we are here for another one of our mass making sessions, and I thought today we would do those little foldy pieces that I had done recently a tutorial on. I did put it out there and ask if people would like this on a mass make, and a few people said yes. A couple of people have messaged me, so I thought we would do these for the mass make today. So I have got here just a bunch of, well, in the main they're A4 sheets of paper, but I also have brought along some of my ready decoupaged pieces as well, that I just thought we could maybe make some from those. Actually, some of these are clearly not going to work, but yes, I do have some of these, so I have a mixture of things. And then I also have some plain sheets. Now, by plain, I've brought along my food coloured pieces and my coffee dyed pieces, so that I can add pages inside my booklet, or alternatively you could add pockets, or you know, however you like really. So it opens out, as you can see, this one has been done from a decoupage napkin piece onto some sheet music. I've left this side blank. This has got a little side for journaling there. And of course, you know, you could always put something here. So, you know, it's completely up to you how you do the inside of these, but you could either leave them plain and just have them as journaling. You could add a little pad, or, you know, however you like really. So that's what we're going to be making. So if you're going to be making some, you're going to need obviously your scissors. You're probably going to need some string. I have bought my string along, and I have got, you know, those punched out circles for if I want to do those wraparound brad closure thingies. I've got some brads here in my little container beside me. Oops. And as I say that, I then pull out a load of things that are not brads. It's because I've got sort of, you know, odds and ends in that middle section. So I'll just separate out some brads there, put those beside me. Whoops. And what else are you going to need? Your scissors, obviously, and do you need glue? Yes, you're going to need glue. Some lace for decorating, anything that you might like to have for decorating, and I think that's probably it. Yeah, I think that's probably it. You may want to round the corners on yours. So yeah, just kind of see how you would like to, you know, finish your piece off basically. So I'm going to obviously, as usual, demonstrate a couple before I, you know, just be quiet and we'll just make some. So just move my papers onto my lap so they're not in the way. And then I'm just going to pull in a couple, a couple of pages. Now what I've done, I've got some pages and I have printed these onto, it's coffee dyed paper, but it's 100 GSM, sorry, I was going to say 100 and something, 100 GSM. So regular copy paper tends to be between 70 and 80 GSM. This is 100, so it's slightly thicker, but it's not thick like cardstock. So I'm experimenting using this today. But I mean, you could use scrapbooking paper, as I say. I mean, this is decoupaged onto sheet music, so you know, just play around and decide what you find you get the best results from basically. Now all we're going to do is, if you saw my original tutorial, they are so super simple to make, and of course, you know, I love super simple, so yep, that's just my preference. So all you're going to do is fold over your first piece, and then you're going to just fold over what's going to be essentially your flap, and you want that sort of snug up to, you know, to your other piece, if you see what I mean. So pretty snug like that. Now what you're going to then want to do is just chop that down, say about halfway. Now this is if you have an A4 sheet, you know, obviously it's going to vary depending on what you're using. The ones that I did in my tutorial, I think I was using slightly smaller, sort of more like scraps of paper anyway. But this obviously was a whole A4 sheet, so that's why I've cut it that way. And then I'm going to trim it down so it's not quite so tall. So I might just take off a little bit there. Like that. And then what you're going to do for your flap type piece, you are going to open your fold out again, whoops, and just bring it in like this. Now you don't want to make an actual fold, but you just want to sort of, you know, roughly fold it. And the reason you're doing that is because you want to make your flap. Now, can you see where my fold is, where it went over? I want to come down, and I'll show you why. And you just take off, you know, what's going to essentially be a bit of a rounded flap. But where I've cut down lower than this fold, so that I have that really super cute little fold over flap there. I hope that sort of makes sense. So, I mean, hopefully it will become clearer, you know, the more that we do. And, you know, you can do your closures however you like. I mean, I have used brads and those circles for quite a few. Obviously, this being thinner paper, you know, I need to be super careful that I'm not going to damage the actual, you know, the paper itself. So I just need to be aware of that, really. Let me just pull in my distress ink. Oh, so you might need distress ink. And pull in one of my circles. Like that. Okay. And then we're just going to poke that there. Okay. Oops, get your brad. Pop that through. And I'm just going to sort of flatten that on the other side. And that's it. That's, you know, that's the foundation of your piece. And then, I mean, I like to use string. You could obviously use embroidery thread or something, you know, whatever you fancy. In fact, I might try some embroidery thread on this because it's with that thinner paper. It might be more delicate. So hold on 2 moments. Okay, so I've got my embroidery threads here. So, I mean, actually, this is a fantastic way to use up, you know, when you have used all that you can to bind journals, but you have, like, say, this long left, you know, that then you've not got enough to actually bind a journal. This is quite a good way to use that thread up. So, again, I'm just going to tie this round the brad. So I know we'll try it the other way so as it stays nice and tightly knotted. Oops. Just going to cut that end, whoops, like that. And then you can just wrap that round and then just, you know, wrap it round here a couple of times. So if I just cut that down, I don't know whether I've actually got enough to do another one, but I might have enough. And then, as I say, on the inside, you can obviously decorate that however you want. So, for instance, here I've got obviously the remainder of that paper. I mean, we could make a little pocket. I was just having a look where the best place to make it. So we could have a little pocket down here. I mean, we could, on the ones that I initially did, I had a little pad on this side, but it had to obviously be smaller than the triangular shape, if that makes sense. You could do a bigger pad here, but you're going to have, obviously, you know, where it's attached, that may just sort of be noticeable on this side. So that's just something to bear in mind, but, you know, I'm sure it would probably work fine. This obviously is quite long, so I mean, I might be able to just have like an actual long, you know, lengthways pocket. So if I fold that over like that, so we could have it sort of a long pocket like that. So let's just glue that down. You know, I mean, these are just experiments. I haven't tried this or anything, but what better time have we got than when we're doing a mass make? You know, that's the time for just trying things out and seeing what works, isn't it? So that when, you know, when you come to you know, settle down to make them, you will then sort of find what works best for you and, you know, how you like it best, what method you like to do best. So I'm just going to trim that down here. Looks like that. So I could have it there, or actually could have it that side. I just prefer it not stuck onto the front really. So I'm just going to trim this down here. Like that. Oops, I don't think I made a very good job of cutting that, but never mind. So then you would be able to glue that down. Like that. Okay, and then pop that in there like that, and then like that. Okay, so then grab something. I mean, this is not a journaling card obviously, but there's your space for your journaling card. So yeah, I mean that pocket works quite nicely, but you know, we'll have a trial and error, and or you know, a trial and do some different types, I think. So, and again, just wind that round like that. And obviously you can decorate the outside with some lace and, you know, anything that you want really. But I mean, I just love them. I think they're really, you know, I mean, I always love easy things. So for me, these are just perfect. So, because I think they look quite effective and, you know, they're dead easy to make. So just going to round the corners here, which I don't think I did in my original tutorial. Oops. Like that. There we go. Okay, so really, really nice. And you know, again, I mean, you could obviously glue that in, or, you know, have it as is basically. So let me pull in some more paper. So this paper was from my what was it from? My Newton Park paper, and this is from my Victorian Florals set 2. So again, what I might do is just chop this down. So if I wanted it, say, here, you know, and obviously you can vary these how, you know, how big you want them, how, you know, sort of what sort of size that you would like them. So again, I'm just going to cut that roughly, just roughly sort of, you know, to the halfway mark. Again, I mean, it of course doesn't have to be precise or anything, because you're going to cut this off anyway. So then I just want to decide where, you know, which end I want to cut off to make that a bit shorter. So I'm just going to cut it down here. Oops, like that. Okay, and then again, I just open it back out, take my small flap, and then just, you know, I'm not squashing it, but I'm just finding the midway line. And then what I want to do is go down, so as you get the interest of that flap being sort of small, if you see what I mean. Okay. I'll just get rid of these bits off of the desk, and I'll just show you how that is. So then fold that in like that. I mean, they're just really cute, and just something a bit different, I think. So that's that. And again, then, oops, sorry, I have things dropping and sliding down on my desk. And then again, inside, as I say, I mean, I put a little flippy pad in the previous, you know, in the one I did for the tutorial, but let's try a little pocket. I mean, let's try it on this side for this one. To be honest, we could probably even have 2 pockets, but that might be a bit bit much. We could probably even have two like this, actually. You know when things are just coming to you as you're working? That's a bit what's going on here. So I'm just thinking, if we have that, let's just keep my glue there for a minute. Let's just say there and there. Like that. Okay, so I'm just going to trim those down really close to those folded edges. Okay, so I mean you could have them, you know, like that. So then you've got double pockets. I mean, obviously these are only paper, so they're going to be very delicate, you know, or to be honest, what we could do, which probably, you know, yeah, probably is my preference, is I'm going to stick this together so as I'm doubling up my paper and it's not so delicate. I think for me, it's probably better than putting the double pockets because, you know, I'm quite clumsy, and so having such flimsy pockets, you know, especially doubled, I'm quite likely to damage them and tear them. So by just doing this, it's just reinforcing that pocket basically. So it's a little bit more robust, and then we can just pop that there. So I'm just going to cut that down because it's not very straight. Hopefully that's a bit better. Let's see. Okay, so we can just then pop that pocket down there. Like that. Okay. And then I'm just going to see how that looks now from the front, because as I say, I mean, you've just got to be a bit of, you know, bear in mind that this is now attached to the front. I mean, I wouldn't worry if the paper was thicker, but because this is, you know, quite thin paper, I didn't want it being really lumpy. It actually seems like it's okay. So fingers crossed that's all working fine. And again, just get one of my circles. Just sorry about that horrible noise. The squeaking of this across the glass mat. Now, again, I've got this pink, I've got this green, which may be quite nice, and I have also got blues, or I've got ivory. Oh, the ivory I think looks best, doesn't it? So yeah. Oops, did I put my pokey tool away? Right, probably do with keeping that out, a bit more handy. So just poke that in there. Okay. And obviously, you know, if you wanted to use scraps for this, you can make these in tiny size too. So, you know, just because I'm using sort of larger ones, you don't have to use large ones. If you've got some scraps of paper that you want to use up, I mean, I think in my tutorial, I did actually make a couple of small ones. So, you know, they're perfectly fine. They work perfectly well with small ones too. So you don't have to start with full-blown, you know, A4 sheets of paper or larger sheets of paper. You could do this any size at all. And again, we just wrap that round there. And then just wrap that. Oops, probably don't need to hold that, do I? Oh, what is wrong with me, even considering holding that? Oh. Okay, and then just round my corners like that. So that's those. And I mean, as you can see, this one I've done obviously a lot wider than this one, but they both look really nice. It's actually shorter. I love them both. You know, I don't really have a preference. So I think you can, you know, make these look quite different. And obviously we've not even decorated these up at all or anything. So let's grab in a napkin piece. So I've got this gorgeous napkin. So again, what I'm going to do, just decide which way I want this. So I think I'm going to come in here like that. And then I'm just going to fold this side in like that. And then again, just sort of cut that down, you know, approximately halfway in there. Now you can obviously tell I want to hoard this piece. So who knows, maybe we will make a pocket inside. Sorry, I'm fidgeting around on my chair a lot today. I can't seem to get quite comfy. And let's just trim this down in height again. So I'll just trim it top and bottom for this one. Like that. And then, again, obviously you could use your bone folder. I can't see my bone folder, which isn't this typical, because since I said just a few weeks ago, oh, I always keep my bone folder in the same place. The number of times I've mislaid it since saying that. You should just never say it, should you? Because invariably then you're going to just not do that thing that you've said that you always do. Okay, so again, just put it together and then just trim it down. Like that. Okay, and then fold that in and in here as well. And then get my corner rounder. And as you can see, I mean, I'm doing this in completely different ways each time. Sometimes I've rounded the corner last, sometimes first, you know. So, I mean, don't honestly, you know, pay any attention to the method that I'm using. Do it in the order that sort of seems straightforward for you. So, you know, anything works. And obviously I might ink this one up as well. So I'll just decide what we want inside of here. And I've got this gorgeous food coloured paper, which I might, yeah, I might just cut that out and just have that on there for a writing surface. Or probably that side actually. Okay, so I'm going to do that on this one. So can I get those? Right, so let's just do like that. And then to about here. Okay, right, let's go. I'll just trim this down. And then I'm just going to stick this in, just like, you know, obviously people stick things in. You've probably seen me stick things in tons of times. So just cut that like that. And then I'm just going to trim it down on this edge. Let's just check it's going to fit actually. Yeah, so I'm just going to trim this down on this edge and then I'll round the corners. And obviously for the other side, this side, I will need to just do a little bit there. So I will do that afterwards. So that's kind of pretty much it. I'm, you know, obviously not rocket science at all, and as I say, I mean, you possibly even saw my tutorial a couple of weeks ago, so you know, I can probably now just be quiet about the process that we're doing, and you know, we can just have a catch up and just have a relaxing time. So there we go. I will obviously just tell you when I'm doing anything slightly different or anything else. So I hope everyone's doing well. I hope you've all been having a nice week. Oh, we had a heat wave here last week. It was just boiling. I mean, I think it was like on Wednesday, and we went to the beach, you know, in the afternoon. I mean, obviously I was kind of working in the morning, but we went to the beach in the afternoon, and oh, it was so hot. And in the car, I'm sure it said Gatwick Airport, which is probably, I don't know how many miles that is from us, to be honest, but I don't know, maybe 40 miles, 50 miles, I'm not sure. But anyway, it said it was 32 there. I mean, that's very hot, I have to say. You know, for us here, we don't generally get weather so hot as that, you know, normally. And I think it was about 30 in the car. So it was boiling, absolutely boiling. And it was such a relief to get to the beach, because although it was still boiling, you know, there was at least that bit of air and, you know, bit of breeze and things like that. So yeah, it was very, very, very hot. Thursday was also incredibly hot. Friday, can't remember now what the weather was doing on Friday actually. Oh, I think Friday it was sort of just, was it muggy? I honestly can't remember. I fancy forgetting. Oh, yes. No, it was very muggy. So it was very hot still. But a bit more overcast. But so on Friday night, I said, well, let's take one of those disposable barbecues and we'll go down to the beach and we'll have our dinner on the beach. So we were getting everything ready to go. And, you know, we sort of semi-cooked the food, you know, so it didn't have so long to actually be cooked when we got to the beach. And during the time of doing all the prep, it suddenly blew up. I mean, they had been forecasting thunderstorms and things like all day. So, you know, we'd been incredibly lucky that we hadn't had any and we'd had no rain and things. But it suddenly blew up and went very, very, very grey. And, yeah, was not looking very good. So we were then like, oh, what should we do? Shall we go? Shan't we go? Shall we go? Shan't we go? Anyway, we decided, oh, you know, let's just be adventurous. Let's just go anyway. So we went anyway, and I had to laugh because obviously, you know, I mean, actually, there were still a lot of people on the beach. I mean, we went to, you know, where we live, there's kind of like different beaches, you know, so the most popular one we didn't bother going to because obviously it was late in the day and we didn't want to have to queue or anything like that to get in. That's the one that we normally go to when we kind of bike. But there's another beach just down the road to that, it's sort of, you know, 2 miles long. And I mean, it is beach all the way along, but, you know, you can't necessarily park nearby. And obviously we had all our, you know, food and barbecue and everything else. So we wanted to be close to where we were going to be going. But there was still an awful lot of people on the beach, and I have to say, there was still an awful lot of people in the sea, which I found absolutely flabbergasting because it was really chilly by that point. To the point that my daughter and I mean, I had on, I think I had my dress, a long sleeve top over my dress, a cardigan and my denim jacket. My daughter had, I think she had her dress, her cardigan and her denim jacket. And then on top of that, we also had a towel over our knees that just happened to still be in the car, and a blanket that was also still in the car. So there were these people in the sea, and we were there with all those layers and, you know, towel and blanket like over our knees, you know, like we were the Queen or something, you know, when she's in that in her carriage with her blanket on her knees. But it felt so cold, you know. I really felt that we needed all those things. So to think that there were people still in the sea, it was just shocking, you know. I was like, wow, those people must be freezing. But yeah, anyway, they were obviously not minding it. And then Saturday it was, oh, we did have a nice time, sorry, by the way. Yeah, we did have a nice time, but we didn't hang out for too long, so it was lucky that we'd sort of pre-cooked some of our food because we wouldn't have wanted to be there for too long. And then Saturday the weather was not very good at all. It was like raining, you know, a lot, and yeah, not great, and actually quite chilly. Well, I say that, it was chilly-ish, but you know, when it's sort of muggy one minute, chilly the next, it was a bit like that. But oh, I was so lucky because I went to, you know, a few months ago I'd been to an antiques market which I had never been to before. So that's about an hour and 50 minutes from where we live. So it reopened from the lockdown 2 weeks ago, I think it was. So, yep, we went there. I had to bribe the children with a McDonald's to go, because of course they didn't really want to go there. But I said, well, come on, I'll get you a McDonald's for lunch. So, yeah, they were happy to go then. So we went there and, sorry, I'm just deciding which paper to use now. Perhaps I'll use this. So yeah, I bribed them with the McDonald's, and you know, so then they were happy to come. And yeah, I mean, as I say, it was an hour and 50 minutes to get there, but to be honest, it was one of those sort of rubbishy days, so it wasn't really like they were missing out. It wasn't like we could have been doing like a lovely walk or, you know, anything really lovely anyway. But I was so excited to go there because I thought, wow, you know, maybe a lot of those antiques dealers have, you know, replenished their stocks during the lockdown. Maybe they've been having a clear out and they've put a lot of new things in their, you know, their sections or whatever, because it's all lots of independent sellers in this place. But however, it was a bit disappointing because actually, I'm not saying there wasn't new stuff, because obviously I've only ever been there once before, but, you know, so I couldn't tell you whether it was new or not. But yeah, there wasn't anything too great, to be honest, so it was a little bit disappointing, but it was fine because it was something to do. And you know, we left home quite early and we got back reasonably early too, so we were still able to have a nice evening, and, you know, I cooked a nice meal and things. So yeah, it was all fine. But I picked up a few books, and that was pretty much it. I have done a haul video. Well, yeah, I have done a haul video, which I did literally just now, but that won't be going up for a little while because, you know, I've obviously got my X-Piles video going on at the moment, and, or series going on at the moment. So it certainly won't be till after that. And yeah, I don't know. I've got quite a lot of videos for after that, so it will be a little while anyway before the video goes up. But, you know, you're not missing too much because actually, you know, there wasn't that much amazing things, but I did get one or two nice books, so it was worth a visit, you know. Right, so this one I'm wondering about doing a little booklet inside. So, I mean, you see, you really can do quite a bit of different things with these. I think they're quite, you know, quite versatile, and, you know, you really can do quite a few different things. So, let's just do that. And then yesterday, again, it was, well, it was strange weather. It was quite muggy. Probably quite similar to today, actually, although there was more sun, I think. So I'd discovered, well, I hadn't really discovered it, but I had been told by my friend about a walk that we had never been on a while ago. And we'd never done it still. So I thought, well, let's go and do that. And that was by another beach near us. So we went and did that, and you could literally just walk all the way along the front, probably about 40 minutes or something, and there's a little sort of it's not really a promenade, but, you know, a little path anyway, so you could walk all the way down the front, and then, sorry, I'm just getting my stapler out, and then you could get an ice cream, because there's an ice cream kiosk. So we did that, and yeah, it was a nice day, and actually it was just perfect for the weather because, you know, being on the seafront, it would have been too hot to have a walk inland, but being on the seafront, it was just enough breeze to make it, you know, bearable to do a walk, but it wasn't sort of too cold with the breeze that it was like unpleasant. So it was just the perfect activity really for the weather. So we had a nice time. I have to say my daughter was moaning a lot about having to do the walk, but yeah, kind of bribed her with the ice cream, but it was a bit unfortunate because the ice cream obviously was at the midway point, because you walked down to the ice cream kiosk and then she obviously had the ice cream. So obviously there was nothing more to bribe her with coming back. So she then was obviously moaning quite a lot on the way back to the car. And I did say, now I wish that really you'd not had that ice cream in the midpoint, and I wish we'd just driven to the ice cream kiosk at the end instead, you know, just walked down to it, walked back, and then driven back to it, because now you've had it, you've got nothing to motivate you to now do the walk. I don't think she even replied. She just was moaning, you know, moaning. But anyway, it was nice. And then what did we do after that? Oh, we just came home and sat in the garden for a bit, and my mum and dad actually called by, and again they were able to get through to our back garden from the, you know, from the front, so kind of go down our side, so they didn't have to go through our house or anything. And then obviously we were able to just sit in the garden, you know, away from them a bit. So that was really nice, because that's the first time they visited us obviously since the lockdown and all of that began. So it was, yeah, it was nice to see them here. I mean, you know, luckily we have obviously managed to visit them quite a few times now, because they live right near where the beach is. So, you know, we've often tied in visiting them when we've been to the beach, and each time obviously it's been lovely weather, so we've managed to just, at first we were just sitting in their front garden in their driveway, but we now have obviously ventured to their back garden, again just going through to the back, you know, not through the house or anything like that. So, but it feels nice, doesn't it, to be able to see people again, to see loved ones and things again. So that's been really, really nice. And of course it's been nice being able to go out, you know. Just check the time. I can't really see. I think it says 30 minutes. Plus I know I stopped the video, so I'm probably got time for one more, because there must be about 45 minutes, I think. Let me just see whether I've got a small one to just do a tiny one. Oh, I don't think I have, would you believe? Oh, I don't believe it. Well, I've got this actually. Perhaps I'll do a tiny one out of this. Yeah, so that has been very nice, being able to go out and about. I mean, who knows what's going to be happening? Who knows whether it's the right thing to have opened places up? You know, obviously it feels very worrying, and you just hope that it's not been too much too soon. But equally, you know, I guess life does have to return to normal eventually, but it is very scary. I mean, my middle son is still not back at school, and I mean now it's looking like they're not going to go back for his year group until September, which, I mean, that's kind of crazy. I don't know, you know, I don't know. Obviously I'm not in a position to really know. I don't know what the logistics would be of having them back. There, I'm sure, is a good reason why they can't have them back. You know, maybe the logistics just are not feasible. I don't know. But I mean, to some extent it does seem sort of crazy that, you know, pretty much everything will have been back by September, but the schools won't. I mean, that's just, you know, pretty diabolical, isn't it? But hey ho, you know, we just have to be obviously guided by what we're told and advised to do. So we have to see. But my daughter's obviously still really, you know, having a nice time, and apparently their whole of her class are now back. They're not back on the same days. I think I said before, she does, you know, she does 2 days a week, then they have a day to sort of, I don't know, sterilise and prep and what have you, and then the other half of the class does the other half of the week. But apparently her whole class or year group or whatever, they are all back now. So, you know, albeit in 2 different halves of the week. But so that's really encouraging, isn't it? You know, because obviously people must have enough faith, I guess, in the system to be able to send their children back. So that's good. And I guess, you know, I mean, people need to get back to work and things like that, don't they? So, I mean, to some extent, you kind of, you know, have to send them really, because you're like, you know, I need to be able to work, and, you know, and of course they're all missing their friends and want to get back to normality themselves. So it's a bit of a mixed bag, really. But, I mean, all we can do is obviously hope and pray that we've all done the right thing. And I suppose really only time will tell, but yeah, I mean, she's loving being back, so that's really, really good. And, you know, that is so lovely, seeing their enjoyment, I guess, at seeing their friends again, and, you know, seeing things back to normal, because, I mean, otherwise their life feels pretty bizarre as well, doesn't it? So, yeah. And I mean, I still haven't really fathomed out what they're doing when she's there, because of course she still doesn't really tell me. But they must be doing some form of work, because, I mean, obviously there are stories, you know, from people circulating that, you know, the schools are really not doing a lot when they're back. But I mean, they must be doing something, because her teacher did come out and said she was doing really well with her reading and her numbers. Sorry, her writing and her numbers, and she'd apparently written 2 whole pages of stuff on one of the days last week. So I was really proud of her, and yeah, she got a reward of some bubblegum, because she's loving bubblegum at the moment. She's just taught herself to blow bubbles. So she's constantly saying to me, "Oh, Mummy, how much would you score that one?" By that she means, you know, how many points out of 10 would I give the bubble that she's just blown? So, yeah. But she's quite good at it. She can blow quite big bubbles, I must say. So she's, you know, that's her new thing, is bubblegum. So I said, well, she definitely earned some bubblegum that day, because, you know, the teacher was so pleased with her, so I felt super proud. I mean, the fact that she's had so many sweets over this lockdown anyway, you know, not really very good, but I mean, kids do love sweets, don't they? Anyway, yeah, so I'm trying to think now what else we've been up to. Oops. There we go. Ooh. This blue looks pretty around this, doesn't it? There we go. Yeah, I love that blue against that napkin. It's really pretty. Just kind of bring it up to you to show you. Looks lovely, doesn't it? And I did round the corners. Right, so, oh gosh, I've been really slow again this week. I don't know whether I'm getting slower or whether I'm doing things that take longer. I'm not sure. Anyway, so we've only done 5, which is a bit pathetic, but never mind. So let's decorate one of these up. Let's just decide which one we're going to decorate. Let me have a look and see what stuff I brought along. Well, not really brought along, what stuff I have buried laying about on the desk, really, that I can use, because that will then determine which one I'm going to do. So hold on, I'll just have a look. Just going through my huge pile of stuff, seeing whether I've got anything sort of jumping out at me that looks, you know, just perfect to work with any of these pieces. Got a red postage stamp. Isn't that a nice postage stamp? I can't even read what that says. Oh, I can't actually read what that says, which, you know, is not great, is it? That's quite nice on there, actually. Let's have a look and see what else I have. Okay. Got some of my numbers. What else have I got? Also, I've just put some other tickets in my shop, so let me just... I did print some out. Now, where did I put them? Ah, they're tucked in amongst everything. So I'm just wondering whether I could have like a ticket somewhere. Love this one. Let's cut that one out. So again, I've just printed these on that coffee dyed paper. So, I mean, they're not on card or anything like that. I mean, if I were using these as tickets and not just things that I'm tearing to glue down, I would print these obviously on thicker paper. It's just that obviously I printed these off to come along for this video, thinking I would possibly use some to decorate with. So yeah, I wouldn't necessarily print these on copy paper normally. I don't know now. That's quite nice on there actually. Not with that, not with that. Got some of these numbers. Just see. Let me move these out the way because they're a little bit distracting, aren't they, having them there? I'm thinking if we have that like that, and let's get a bit of lace. So this is some of that lovely lace that I received in Happy Mail. Again, just try and sort of get it quite strandy. Like that. Okay. I don't know now. I mean, I guess you could have it this way so it's more like an envelope. That might be quite nice, mightn't it? Oh, yeah, I quite like that. I do quite like that. So let me just pop that down. Okay. Okie dokie. Okay. Okay, and then pop that down on there, I think. So I'm just going to ink this number up. I mean, it doesn't really need inking because of course it is dark brown, but just, you know, just in case. So, and I'm just going to use my 3-in-1. Well, it's not 3-in-1, this is Fabri-Tac, but you know what I mean. So I hope everyone's been enjoying the X-Piles series if you've been watching along. Maybe you've been feeling inspired to work on your piles in your craft area. I had a lot of fun filming that series, and for me that method of just taking a pile, actually it worked really well. So yeah, I may do that again in the future because it made it a nice manageable size, which was really good. So I may have to use that method, you know, another time. But yeah, I made quite a lot of stuff actually during that series. It was quite surprising how much stuff I did actually manage to make. So yeah, I do hope that you are enjoying it if you are following along. Right, I'm just standing up now to have a look and see if I've got anything else. I've got this pink lace. I'm not sure now. What else have I got? Okay, got some flowers. I wonder if I could fussy cut that one. I have go. go. I don't know really whether I'm going to make a very good job of fussy cutting that, but let's give it a try. You know, because you don't know till you try, do you? Okay, oh, it looks a bit fussy even looking at it. Right, I'm going to cut those leaves off. That makes it easier. Okay. Okie dokie. Oops. And then around here. Okay. Oh, come on. Yes, the latest news is apparently the cinema is going to open, I think they said from the 10th of July. Now, we go to the cinema very, very often, as you probably know, and, you know, it's one of the things that we have been really missing is the cinema. And we have said so many times, oh, I can't wait for the cinema to open, because we really do, you know, we love films. And, I mean, I especially really like the cinema because, to be honest, it's the only time that I do sit down and properly focus, because when I'm at home, I'm normally with my laptop or with my, you know, my craft bag. It's the only time that I properly really sit down and, you know, just watch the film. So yeah, I literally can't wait as well. So fingers crossed that is going to, you know, open. And again, fingers crossed that it's not going to be a bridge too far, you know. So I'm wondering whether to have it like that. I don't know. I mean, I can't help but feel a little bit that maybe, you know, less is more. And that does not very often come out of my mouth. Less is more. I'm just going to tear this ticket. I'm just going to tear this one. As I say, I mean, these are on coffee dyed just paper. But they're all quite a good sort of colour range, you know, all quite neutrally. So that's why I sort of brought these along today, because I thought, well, actually they're quite versatile, being, you know, good colours. Oh, I think that's too much. I feel like that's then, you know, have things on both sides, which is a bit weird. Yeah, I think that's probably a little bit weird for me. I will just double check that I don't want any more lace though, because maybe the lace would just balance it out a bit. So let's just kind of pull that apart. I'm so sorry if you can hear my husband on the phone. He's obviously working from home as well, so he's, you know, he's on the phone too. No, no. I may add something to that at a later stage, but I don't think I want to at the moment. Because sometimes I think you can just go into that mode where it's, you know, you're going to ruin it really. So I've gone into that mode. That's quite nice. Yeah, that's quite nice. So this is just literally a stamped sort of scrap of paper really. But maybe that would be quite nice somewhere. Yeah, maybe on this side. Just pop that down there. Okay, so that's that one there. I don't know why I had never really kind of done these, you know, decorated them envelope way up. I had always kind of decorated them lengthways, but actually they're really lovely, you know, this way up. So, well, actually I had decorated this one that way up with that butterfly. But anyway, yeah. So I hope that you like them, and I hope you managed to make some. And if you did, you know, I hope you had a nice time. If you didn't, maybe you made something else in a sort of mass-made style. So I hope you had a nice time, and I'd love to catch up with you again. I can't believe we're actually, this must be like week number 49 or maybe 50 in the mass makes, and I can't believe how long it's gone on for now. So we're nearly up to a year, guys. So thank you so much for joining me, and hopefully see you next time. Thanks then. Bye.